Jack is back once again. I remember back in 2003 when the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out, and it was unexpectedly amazing. It had action, adventure, humor, great characters, and it took you on a magical yet emotional and intense roller coaster ride. The movie was a hit, and rightfully so. It is a great movie. In this film, 14 years later, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Captain Jack is off on another crazy adventure, this time seeking the Trident of Poseidon for his own personal gains, while once again being paired up and roped in into helping these two younger characters who are also seeking the Trident of Poseidon for their own reasons. Johnny Depp is Captain Jack Sparrow. He still plays the role extremely well. 14 years later, I think it is. He's likable, he's funny, he's Captain Jack. Now the villain this time is played by Javier Bardem, and he's played a villain before, and he does it very well, and he does it very well once again in this movie. Geoffrey Rush is once again back as Captain Barbossa, as well as some other familiar pirates from previous films. First of all, I will say that this film is a pretty good time. It has all the action, adventure, humor, and great characters of the previous couple films. It has the epic sword fights and sea battles. It has the great humor from Captain Jack Sparrow and other characters. CGI effects and the sets they built do transport you to another time and take you on a fantastic swashbuckling adventure, just like some of the previous films have. There are even a few flashback scenes that explain some of the backstories of a few of the characters, which I found pretty interesting. It was a little bit of a stretch sometimes, just trying to connect everything. However, I do have some negatives with the film. It seems to me that the first film, which once again is amazing, was made as a stand-alone movie. And now, 14 years later, we're at movie 5. And with each movie after the first one, they seem to have just been having to stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch this franchise out just a little more and a little more, and by movie 5 it's kind of all deflated and has lost a bit of its strength. It's a bit watered down compared to the first one. The action, the adventure, the humor of the first one are all still present, but what's missing is the level of seriousness and emotional depth of the first film. Now, the first movie is about ghost pirates, so you can't take it like super seriously. But you can take it more seriously than this film. In the first movie, you find yourself emotionally invested. You believe that the characters had something to lose in the film. You bought into the danger and the fear that the characters were facing. You just took it more seriously. And in movie 5, Captain Jack Sparrow is still Jack Sparrow. He isn't the greatest pirate we've ever seen, as he was in the first one. He's not brilliant or clever or schemy or even as good at sword fighting, it seems, in this movie. He just kind of hilariously and drunkenly stumbles throughout the movie from one outrageous scenario to the next, somehow miraculously surviving each dangerous scenario he finds himself in. It's still an enjoyable character. It's still great to watch. I still love Johnny Depp as Captain Jack, but he has kind of lost at this point what made him the greatest pirate in the Caribbean. And that's the main problem I have with the film. It's simply just too outrageous at this point. It's too ridiculous. It's too magical to find any believability in it or to get emotionally invested in it. The characters seem invincible, especially Captain Jack, somehow surviving one outrageous scenario onto the next one, and so by the third or fourth time, you don't even feel the danger anymore. You don't get invested in the plot or the conflict, and while you might be entertained by what's going on, you don't really care what happens. So this movie definitely does fail in comparison to the first film that came out back in 2003. But as I said, if you're looking for a good swashbuckling adventure, I think you'll find it here. It's a good time, and I would watch it again, maybe while doing something else, or if it ever ends up in the $5 bin at Walmart. However, when it comes to fantastic quality pirate adventures and entertainment, Curse of the Black Pearl is still the first disc I'll pop in every time to get that. Those are my thoughts on Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Have you seen it? If so, make sure to comment and leave all your thoughts and opinions down below, and make sure that you subscribe as well for more of my opinions on movies in the future. I will see you guys next time.